Okay, well, thank you so much again to our house band, Charlie and the Outlaws. Now, it's pretty rare to have such a great group of people all together in one room here at BMW World in Munich. So we're going to give you a bit more of a conversation now just to discuss as a group some of the things that we've been talking about individually. I know Claudia certainly had lots more to say. So I'm going to start by actually asking you guys, in terms of the Internet of Things, I mean, it really is the Internet of everything. We're seeing the Internet developing and improving all types of technology, innovation, creativity, business. It's not just a niche thing anymore. One of you, Peter.
You opened a big story here.
Yeah,
that's a bit.
We've got 10 minutes.
A glimpse into Pandora's box. But a key aspect, when you just imagine a world with billions of devices and billions of sensors, what they do will not be for a certain industry or for a certain person. So this will always, they will produce, and we will need technologies which translate that for the user, for other machines, for consumption. So I think we will see quite interesting technologies where the versatility of all these sensors will increase. And I come back a little bit to the car because it provides mobility, but it provides many other things. And the sensors there might be used for collecting environmental data, for instance, in building weather forecasts, which are much more accurate than what we have today. So it's that jumping from application domain to another, which makes it, I think, so interesting and powerful.
Actually, this is one, I guess, for you, Renzo and Sajjad. Could we see the car could do everything from monitor the driver's health and really do a wide range of things moving forward?
Right. I mean, we talked about that before also, that we said, okay, in the Internet of Things, car is a node. And the other nodes are all kind of devices which are coming at home also. Like you have at the moment, for example, your mobile phone and you have a car. These are the two devices of the Internet. But more and more we see at the moment in the industry that, okay, your other stuff like health, your sports, and whatever you have in the television, like all those kind of, it's not only entertainment, they all will be tracking that. Whether the health in the car could be assisting the driver while driving and giving them the informative knowledge which could help and assist them while going forward, yes. So we will be unfolding those new technologies down the road.
So could it be a case that, for example, a lorry driver is in the lorry and he's been driving for a long time and he's actually told by his vehicle that he's too tired, he needs to take a break?
Yes, I mean, car could be one of the kind of puzzle in the game. The car, I mean, of course, the drive time in our 24 hours during the day, it varies from person to person. But could car or any kind of a transport vehicle could be a puzzle to give that information? Absolutely, yes. So.
May I add some more hints? Maybe we already have on our trucks driver status monitoring, but they are based on what is happening on the truck in that moment. What is missing and what Internet of Things can help is we have applications and devices that are monitoring, for example, your sleeping cycles. So we need to bring this information during the driver period and say, well, if you are in good mood, in good weather head condition, because you are healthy, no problems, you have slept 8 hours, etc., well, you can drive without having many interruptions. While if you haven't slept that night, you are not in a good health condition, because we know from other applications that are already running outside the automotive world, then we can adapt the vehicle behavior to your status.
Could this
that's very interesting, because again, is putting the customer again in the center of the scene.
And could we also see, for example, with insurance, because you'd be able to demonstrate that is this a grey area? But if we look at the positive, if you can demonstrate that you're better, if you're a safer driver, will that have implications with insurance that you're happy to answer? Either of you.
I mean, insurance companies are proactively coming into the industry to tap those advantages of the industry. And they are proactively asking customer driving behavior and all that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is the driver is the owner of everything. So if the driver of the car and the owner of the car would allow and would be willing to do that kind of talk with the insurance companies. That would be left. The technology is there. From the technology perspective, we could be very assured that everything is out there. So it's more between how the people would like to have that interaction with those companies out there. So that would be the every individual.
And just bringing in Claudia's work here, because it kind of goes with the work of cars, would you say, actually, in terms of the Internet of the Things, the car and how is going to be incredibly essential and just change so much over the next 5 to 10 years, everything from how we move in a city to, as we mentioned earlier, the health and how we interact? Either of you?
I mean, how the car interacts. I mean, you have this information that you should have a break while you're driving. You have that nowadays already. So, however, I think that in the cities we are going to have a changing car mobility culture, which is more focused on an optimal usage of the car, where I really need it and where is no traffic mode more adequate. And therefore, we have to bring the car together with other traffic modes. And this is the potential of internet. It just connects data, and it makes it enables us to have an overall view and connection and a real-time database of all traffic modes, cars, public transport, and sharing modes. And this is the helpful thing about the internet and the integration of car, which is, of course, one of the most important traffic means. And this is the challenge, to bring that together.
So is it fair to say that the car can be used for so many more things that we previously envisioned it could be? So the car has so many more uses now because of the internet?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you would use it in a different way, I think. However, I mean, car manufacturers, they are much more familiar what a car or how a user can work with the car or interfere with the car.
I mean, it's more also going in the direction of that. Okay, you have this X number of minutes or X number of hours per day in the car. As a human, of course, it had always been used as a transport device or to go from A to B. And what we are trying to do is how can we tap that resources for the humanity even more? That means what can you do more? And this is the direction where we are heading towards autonomous driving. I mean, we have a kind of a vision plans. You come and you park and you just say, dear car, park yourself. So you park in front of you come over here in front of the BMW World, and it goes on its own, and it parks on its own. You come back. Of course. and then afterwards, you come back and your car knows, okay, now your concert is about to be finished. And in X number of minutes, you're going to be walking out. And your car going to be coming back in front of you. I mean, one of our top management guys, he used the word, the kind of, in the former days, you had the very intelligent horse, which knew that, okay, now I have to go and I have to park myself and I have to come back when you want to walk out.
I think, Renzo, did you want to add something, MP?
Yeah. Moving from A to B would be only a feature that also, let me say, cheap cars can have. It's just one of the features. On the future, what we see is that premium cars will battle, let me say in these words, on the internet and connectivity capability and the service that they will provide. This will be the future choice made by the customer, will be based on those capability. Let me come back, for example, to the example that I made before about, for example, eco-driving. What we have discovered in Europe, that in average, you can improve your eco-driving capability about 6% in just 1 month. Now, think of the impact that this can have on the mobility of a city. because you can improve your average speed of about 3 kilometers per hour, but this means tons of CO2 reduced in a city like London. And think of how the traffic flow will change just because those 3 kilometers per hour of average speed. So it's completely new world that is coming from this scenario.
I know, yes, Peter, you had a point. Waiting patiently here.
Yeah, it's quite a nice chat, but I think what we have not probed yet is the capacity of the internet to disrupt. A lot of the discussion was about adaptation, doing a next step, or how it would fit to an existing business model. But that is, I would even dare to say, most likely not the future. The future will be much more disruptive. Business models might completely disappear, which could include industries which we would believe would always be there.
So do you think we could lose industries but gain new industries?
Yes, yes, certainly. So there was, from before the internet came and the discussion about internet and automotive, there was like, are we selling a car or mobility? I mean, what are you selling there? So I think all of this could come back in a much quicker and stronger way than we can probably foresee these days. So I think I would really challenge here a bit the thinking of, yeah, life will be okay if we make everything internetized or whatever. And that comes back what you said, this creativity people have, the capacity today to create very complex products very quickly, that is unmatched in history. So I think we should all be quite careful and watch out for the things where we would least suspect it to come from, because that will be the most powerful
If you can
impact.
bring Caroline in.
So I think, therefore, you need to watch more television. Because in the 80s, if you will recall, there was a film, or not a film, a program with David Hasselhoff called Knight Rider that had a self-parking car. so actually, and if you look at...
It took a while to arrive there. Huh?
Well, it took a while, but there is actually an academic who has done a dissertation which is looking at all of the things mentioned in Star Trek movies that now exist. So I do think there is a place for dreaming of bizarre things and then giving it to you guys to make things happen, because I think dreams actually is where it's how we conceive of the future and of our future needs.
Does that mean we can have a flying car then? And a jetpack?
There are no limits of fantasy. So I mean, you can dream of anything, but I think industry going to be transforming. Those who are prepared for the new industries. The forum is Internet of Things. And those premium or non-premium or all kind of companies will be well prepared for the Internet of Things for the future. They're going to transform the whole industry. But given fact is, industry will transform with the passage of time and will take another level. Just the way the e-commerce, I mean, there had not been Amazon or eBay and all those kind of things before for the e-commerce, for the trading. And now trading is more than 100 billion euro on the internet. So, I mean,
do you maybe think then the Internet of Things is allowing those creative ideas, those crazy ideas, and it's a case of if you can think it, it's going to eventually come true, because if you're putting your ideas out there, and we've got a new platform for innovation, which is taking the creative ideas and working with industry and really shaping the future in a way we didn't think was possible?
I think what the internet does is it democratizes a lot of those tools, doesn't it? I think one of the other great trends, which is the the whole move in terms of being able to access and use big data. The more that that's just another tool that enables us to look at what we're doing, understand what we're doing, do something differently, see where the gaps are. So I think all of the I think if you look at the key trends, immersion, personalization, customization, big data analytics, content as advertising, all of those trends all provide different tools in different working environments. I mean, I think I just sound a sort of a note of caution, really, in the whole, the car knows everything that we're going to be doing, blah, 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 all of that sort of thing. In that, I think as humans, we instinctively don't want to be controlled. We instinctively want our own privacy. We instinctively don't want something else to know everything about us. And so one of the things I think one needs to factor in is that sense of privacy and that sense of the machine not taking over. Now that might sound a bit sort of silly, really. Obviously, machines at the moment are not taking over, but I do think that you need to make sure that there is autonomy in all of the things that are developed, that you as an individual have autonomy, and that nobody knows more about you than you do.
Well, Caroline, that's a really interesting thought, actually. And unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it on that thought, but it does give us something to think about for the future. So I want to say a massive thank you to all of my guests here today, and a thank you to everyone for coming and for those of you who are watching online.